Elias Moreno hadn't planned to come. He repeated that truth to himself as the taxi slowed in front of the hotel ballroom, warm light spilling through tall glass doors like an invitation he never meant to accept. The banner above the entrance announced the high school reunion in cheerful lettering, as if the past were something to celebrate instead of survive. "Just show your face," Marco Reyes had said earlier, practically dragging him along. "Eat the food, take a photo, then we leave, you're not that kid anymore." Elias hadn't answered. Marco hadn't been that kid. The door slid open. Noise hit him first: laughter, music, clinking glasses, familiar faces blurred together, older now but unmistakable. The smell of perfume and polished floors made his chest tighten. Then he saw Adrian Vale. Time had been unfairly kind to him. Adrian stood near the bar, broad shoulders stretching the fabric of his dark shirt, posture relaxed yet commanding. His face had sharpened with age, confidence settling into his bones like it belonged there. The same boy who once ruled the hallways. The same presence that had made Elias feel small. His stomach dropped. "No," Elias whispered. Marco noticed immediately. "You okay?" "No," Elias said quietly, then forced a smile. "But I will be." He turned away too fast and headed straight for the bar. "One whiskey," he said, then after a pause, "Make it two." He drank quickly. The burn grounded him, dulled the memories pressing at the edges of his mind, locker room laughter, whispered insults, being seen but never defended. Another glass followed, and another. He avoided mirrors, avoided familiar voices, avoided one direction of the room. "Elias." The voice came from behind him. His shoulders tense before he turned. Adrian Vale stood there, closer than comfort allowed. Up close, he was worse, taller, broader, his presence heavy and undeniable, dark eyes fixed entirely on him. "You came," Adrian said. "I didn't come for you," Elias snapped. Something flickered across Adrian's face, surprise, maybe regret. "I know," Adrian said softly. The gentleness made Elias angry. "You don't get to talk to me like we're friends," Elias said. "Not after." "After what?" Adrian asked, not mocking, just asking. Elias laughed bitterly. "You really don't remember." Adrian's jaw tightened. "I remember more than you think." That was enough. Elias turned away, grabbing another drink, hands shaking now, not from alcohol, but from everything else clawing its way back. The room softened soon after. The last thing Elias remembered was standing to leave, legs unsteady, Marco calling his name, and a steady hand catching his elbow. "I've got you," someone said. Darkness followed. He woke to quiet. Not the sterile quiet of a hospital, not the hollow quiet of his apartment. This was warm, soft sheets, the faint scent of soap, and something familiar. His head throbbed. He shifted and froze. An arm lay draped across his waist, solid and warm. Breath brushed against the back of his neck. Carefully, Elias turned his head. Adrian Vale was asleep beside him. Without the armor of confidence, Adrian looked different, human, vulnerable. His brow was smooth, his expression unguarded. Panic flared. Memories surfaced in fragments, Adrian helping him walk, a voice saying, "I've got you," no sharp pain, no fear, just closeness he couldn't explain. Something had happened. Heart racing, Elias slipped out of bed, gathering his clothes with trembling hands. His body felt strange, not violated but not untouched either. He dressed quickly. Before leaving, he glanced back. Adrian stirred, reaching out unconsciously, fingers closing around empty space. The sight made Elias' chest ache. He left. Elias Moreno disappeared. Not dramatically, not in a way that invited pursuit. He simply folded himself smaller and slipped back into a life that felt safer when it didn't include unanswered questions. He ignored unknown numbers, he avoided places he used to frequent. He told Marco he was busy, tired, fine. None of it was true. Sleep came in fragments. He dreamed of warmth, of a steady presence behind him, of a voice that said his name without cruelty. He woke each time with his heart racing, shame and confusion tangled together. He told himself it was just the alcohol. Across the city, Adrian Vale replayed that morning over and over. He remembered waking to cold sheets and the sharp, immediate panic that followed, remembered the way Elias had slept curled inward, guarded even in rest. Adrian hadn't touched him when he woke, had barely breathed, afraid even that might be too much. He remembered watching Elias dress in silence. Remembered not stopping him. That part hurt the most. Adrian searched carefully, not desperately enough to frighten him, not passively enough to lose him again. He asked Marco once and was met with a look that warned him not to push. So he waited. Until the universe decided otherwise. The shop was small and quiet, tucked between a bakery and a closed bookstore. Elias was reaching for a bottle of water when he felt it, that familiar weight in the air, the sense of being seen. Elias. He turned. Adrian stood near the door like he'd been afraid to step further inside. No smile, no arrogance, just tension held tightly beneath the surface. "I've been looking for you," Adrian said. "Please just let me talk." Elias' chest tightened. "I didn't give you permission to look." "I know," Adrian said quickly. "That's why I stopped when I saw you here. I won't follow you if you say no." That hesitation threw him off. "What do you want?" Elias asked. Adrian stepped closer, then stopped, leaving space between them. "I want to explain," he said, "and I want to apologize, not for that night, for before." Silence settled heavy between them. "You don't get to decide which parts hurt," Elias said quietly. "I know," Adrian replied. "That's why I'm listening." Elias laughed softly, without humor. "You stood there every time. You didn't say anything, but you didn't stop it either." Adrian's jaw tightened. "I know. You watched me learn how to disappear," Elias continued. "Do you have any idea what that does to someone?" Adrian's voice was low. "I do now." Elias met his eyes. "Why help me that night then?" Adrian swallowed. "Because I never stopped noticing you, and because when you stumbled, the first thing you did was look for something solid to hold onto." Elias' breath caught. "You trusted me," Adrian said, "and I realized how badly I didn't deserve that trust." The confession sat heavy. "I didn't touch you," Adrian added quickly. "Not until you leaned in first, and even then I stopped when you pulled away." Elias searched his face for lies and found none. "I woke up terrified," Elias said. "I know," Adrian replied. "That's why I didn't stop you from leaving. I was afraid if I spoke I'd make it worse." "That was still a choice," Elias said. "Yes," Adrian agreed. "And I regret it." They stood there, suspended between past and present. "I don't forgive you," Elias said. Adrian nodded. "I'm not asking you to." "Then why are you here?" Adrian exhaled slowly. "Because I couldn't live with letting you think you were just another mistake." Something inside Elias shifted. "I need space," he said finally. "I'll give it," Adrian said without hesitation. Their eyes held for one last moment, unresolved, fragile. Then Elias turned and walked away. This time Adrian didn't follow. But he didn't disappear either. Elias Moreno didn't fall into forgiveness. It came slowly, in moments he didn't expect. Adrian Vale kept his word. He gave Elias space, not absence, not pressure, just a steady distance that never felt like abandonment. Messages came sparingly, never demanding replies. "I hope today was gentle, no need to answer, I'm here." Against his better judgment, Elias noticed. They met again on neutral ground, this time by choice. A cafe with wide windows and too much afternoon light where everything felt exposed. Adrian arrived early and stood when Elias approached, as if unsure of the rules. "Tell me if this is too much," Adrian said, gesturing to the chair across from him. Elias nodded once and sat. Conversation came easier than expected. Not about the past, not yet, but about work, routines, small preferences that had nothing to do with old wounds. Adrian listened the way Elias remembered no one ever had in school, as if every word mattered. Still, Elias noticed things. The way Adrian subtly shifted when strangers lingered too close. The way his attention never wandered, protective but restrained. "You don't have to watch me like that," Elias said quietly. Adrian stilled. "I'm sorry." "I don't want to feel fragile," Elias added. "You're not," Adrian said immediately. "You never were." They walked together afterward, side by side, close enough to feel warmth without touching. The city moved around them, unaware. The test came sooner than Elias expected. They ran into someone from before, an old name, an old smirk, unchanged by time. "Well," the man said, eyes flicking between them, "didn't expect that." Elias felt the familiar tightening in his chest, the instinct to shrink. Then Adrian's hand slid into his. Not tight, not possessive. Steady. If you have something to say, Adrian said calmly, you can say it to both of us. The man scoffed but hesitated, the balance had shifted. Elias surprised himself by speaking, I chose happiness. They walked away together. Under a flickering streetlight, Elias stopped, his heart was racing but not from fear. You didn't have to do that, he said. I wanted to, Adrian replied, but only if you were okay with it. Elias searched his face, I'm still scared. I know. And I don't trust easily. I won't rush you. Silence stretched, full but not heavy. Stay, Elias said finally, not because you owe me but because you want this. Adrian's expression softened, something like relief and something deeper crossing his face. I choose you, he said, openly even when it's hard. Elias reached for his hand this time. They stood there, no longer hiding, no longer running, two people choosing each other where the world could see. Not healed, but honest. And that, Elias realized, was enough.